Stay Tuned Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of a drunken degenerate watching the National Football League.
And welcome everybody to Stay Tuned Sports. It's your boy King hanging out with you here on this early Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. as we're getting ready for the Atlanta Falcons to take on the Indianapolis Colts from Olympia Stadion in Berlin, Germany, in the Deutschland. I want to thank everybody for joining us here early in the morning. Go ahead and watch this game, and let's see if the Colts can get back on track with their brand new addition, Sauce Gardner, or will the Falcons indeed just hand the ball off to Bijan and have a chance to win this game? We're going to find out here in just a couple of minutes as we are singing the German and American anthems right now, currently in Germany. I think the last time that happened, the Germans didn't like that too much. Back 80-something years ago. Oh, there was a little thing that happened. I don't know. Do you remember? I don't know. Either way, get ready for that. If you want to help us out here, you can do so. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Helps us around and get more people here to watch. That would be very nice to do that. Share with your friends, your family, co-workers, bosses, strangers on the street. Share with everybody. I don't care. Also, if you're new here and haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. Helps us there as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and hopefully being monetized here on the YouTube. And maybe I can make a life out of this. Maybe I do something like that. I doubt it. I'm not that good. I'm not that good at this. But you gotta try. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right, people? That's what I've always heard. Crafty in the chat says King deliberately keeps the intro low so that he can jump scare viewers with his booming voice. That you've discovered my secret. You've discovered how I go ahead and do these things here, Crafty. I see all the German gents there are singing the Deutschland song, also known as Song of the Germans. They sing, I think it's the third stanza now, because for some reason they can't sing the first stanza anymore. I don't know why. Something must have happened. That's the one. The one they can't sing anymore is the one with the Deutschland über alles. Can't sing that one. It has been outlawed in Germany. Wonder why. Even though it predates those particular people by a long shot, but seems to be a particularly cloudy, gloomy day there in Berlin. As we see a sign language girl just grabbing her tit on the screen for no reason. She also seemed to be Arabic, the most German of people. And they have their red, gold, and black fireworks and streamers in the air. Look at that. That's good. That's fun times. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready here. 46 degrees currently there in Berlin, Germany. Conditions are cloudy, in case you can't see that. And indeed, it is very cloudy there in Germany. Yeah. If you want to help support us directly, link at the top of the chat in the description. We have our donation station. If you feel like just donating some money to the channel, to the cause, donate to the cause. Like V for Vendetta here. No, we're just a dumb sports YouTube channel. But if you would like to donate and support the channel, you can do so with... Oh, wait, I'm out. Oh, I didn't even fix the timeouts on here yet. Oh, man. I'm in so much... I'm the only person that can be silent. I woke up early to make sure I was ready for this, and I'm still late. So... that just goes to show you me and my preparation. Crafty in the chat says, I'm guessing the first stanza had something to do with an unorthodox use of... Oh, God, no. I'm not finishing it. I'm not finishing that word. I'm not. Not doing it. Like, I'm trying to get... I have to get monetized before I can get demonetized, Crafty. So I'm not saying that. Merch store, top of the chat and description below is where we have the link for that, or you can go to bit.ly/stay tuned to merch. That's bit.ly/stay tuned merch and get yourself, well, you can get one of these Fuck the Ref shirts. Those are available right now as we speak. You can go get those. Comes pre-pixelated there, so you won't offend anybody, but the message will still get across. And then we also have, for you, if you feel like it, we have a Just End the Season shirt. You can get that as well over at the Stay Tuned Sports Merch Store, bit.ly/Stay Tuned Merch. That's bit.ly/Stay Tuned Merch. And the kickoff is away. The Colts are going to get it up to about the 24-yard line before they get tackled, and onto the field comes Daniel W. Dimes the third. Got our first bot of the day. That's pretty nice. First and 10, Daniel Jones. Actually, they gave him all the way up to the 25. It's going to be a handoff to JT. JT's going to get hit in the backfield, but he's going to be able to fall forward for a yard. 2nd and 9 upcoming here. They're going to say generously the 27? I don't know how it's only a yard gain and you give him to the 27 then. That doesn't make any sense. That seems odd to me. That seems odd. Oh, let me fix this. There we go. Second and 8 coming up here for Daniel Jones. Looks, throws. That's going to be caught. It was Alec Pierce with the reception. And for a first down, they have it at the 37-yard line. They just perfectly 10-yard gain. Man in motion. Jones, play action. Looks, throws to Taylor out of the backfield. Taylor's going to break loose. He's at the 50. Stumbles a bit. Ball's loose. And then recovered by an offensive lineman. Following up there with Jonathan Taylor. Boy, oh boy, Jonathan Taylor almost had a huge mistake there to start this game off. Fumbled the ball. But the Colts were able to jump on it. Tanner Bortolini, the center. Hey, Gabagool, I got you covered. Oh, hey, family protects family. Got me, Gabagool. That's what we do. You make a mistake, I dare support you. Hey. Tanner Bortolini with the big cover there. So now 1st and 10 again, inside Falcons territory, thrown, caught. And that's going to be another first down. That's the that's the tight end from Michigan there, Tyler Warren. Rookie. He's been a bit of a revelation this year for the Colts. And we have another first down. This one coming from the Falcons' 35-yard line. So the Colts' opening drive here, very efficient outside of the Jonathan Taylor fumble, which was recovered by the Colts. Now it's a toss out to Taylor. Taylor's going to get 4 yards on first down. 2nd and 6 upcoming. And we're going to try to keep, I'm going to try to keep, some idea of what's going on with the rest of the NFL here. We'll try to keep everybody abreast of any news happening or things like that. Hand off to Taylor again. Taylor's going to get 6 yards, pushes and gets right to the 25, and that's going to be a first down. It should be where it's marked. Again, the yellow line is not official, so remember that. Take that with a grain of salt. Oh, they said he was down 2 yards before. What are you talking about? I must have missed something. I didn't think he was down that. What? All right. I mean, well, 3rd and 2 instead of being a first down. I guess it's 3rd and 2. Daniel Jones play action throws high, incomplete. It was that Mo Alley Cox was the intended receiver, and it was just a little high, and then he took a shot. He had to put it up high to get it for the linebacker. You have to put it up there. And the Colts said, "Screw it, we're going for it." 4th and 2. Daniel Jones throws incomplete. Might have been touched a little early, was the receiver. It was Josh Downs on that play, but it falls incomplete, and it's a turnover on Downs. And the Falcons will now get the possession from their own 27. Opening drive in Germany. Looked good for the Colts, but stalls out after a weird knee down penalty that I didn't think was a knee down, but, I mean, who am I to say? Oh, in the game for the American anthem, they had the one of the Colts cheerleaders was doing the American Sign Language for it. Now that's a hot one. That's a hot sign language person there. I'm going to shut up before I get myself in any more trouble. She's attractive. What do you want me to do? See, I'm just saying that's not terrible. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. Good for her. That's very cool. It is early in the morning, so I'm still kind of getting here. We have more games coming up today. We got the Giants and Bears coming up at 1 o'clock, and of course tonight we have the Steelers and the Chargers. Go Chargers, go! It looks like they had like the Falcons drum line there. They got some chicks on stilts. They made it a whole party there in Berlin. So 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Penix is going to hand it off here to Bijan Robinson. And this is what happens when you hand it off to Bijan Robinson. You get a 15-yard gain and a first down. It seems fairly easy there, Falcons. Seems pretty fairly easy. That's all you got to do. I'm sure. Wait, did my chat freeze again? I was wondering why nobody's talking, and I'm like, oh wait, I had to ban to somebody, and that's so there's been a whole conversation going on, and I missed it because the chat freezes whenever I ban a bot. That's the reason why. That's what I'm just crafty. I know. I'm just seeing it here. First and 10. I was like, what the hell's going on? I don't know what. I don't see anybody. Oh, dropped. Oh, no. That was right on the money. And instead, it gets dropped there by Pitts. Yeah, so I've missed the entire conversation. Lloyd was in the chat. Sorry, Lloyd. Lloyd says, sorry, tired. I was rushed to the hospital last night. Boy, you got lots of stuff going on, man. I am very sorry, Lloyd. I certainly hope you feel better. ELS in the chat. Fine, I'm sorry. He's talking about how Jonathan Taylor was doing. And everybody, ELS talking about needed coffee. I need coffee too. Yeah, like I'm just, boy, I missed everything in here. Thank you, ELS. He's in the chat now. Man, I don't know what it is with my OBS. For some reason, because I have the chat connected through there. And if I do any action, if I put somebody in a timeout, if I ban the bots, if I do anything like that, for some reason it freezes up the chat. And if I don't remember to like clear out the chat and reload the chat, then it just I'm like, why is nobody in the chat talking? What's going on? I have no idea. So that's whoops. Yeah, dude, ELS talking about his Wisconsin. Oh, big hit on Penix. Fumble picked up by the Colts, and they're going to bring it down to the 24. The cameraman started seeing a celebrating guy and not the actual play. I don't know what the hell the cameraman's thinking there. But Penix got hit on the blind side. You hate it when you see the Penix get hit on the blind side. Fumble, that is not an incomplete pass. What are we talking about? Boom. Crafty in the chat says the Colts D hits home. That D hit that Penix real hard. You had a big D and a Penix docking situation there. And the Colts were doing a bit of a cabaret dance there. I guess makes sense there in Berlin. Liza Minnelli herself would be very proud, boys. ELS says Penix was destroyed like your mom. Boop! ELS with the early morning. Just savagery. I love it. Rare to hear that from ELS. A little end around here for the Colts. And that's going to be down to the 10, down to the 5, down to the 1 yard line. First and goal. Indianapolis Colts. Ashton Doolin with the carry there for the Colts on a receiver end around there. And just goes whoop, and then goes whoop. Does a little bit of the Chris Berman bup. Almost gets into the end zone, but is stopped right at the 1. First and goal. Jones in shotgun. Handoff to Jonathan Taylor. And that's going to be touchdown, Indianapolis Colts. ELS says, me with no coffee. I'm a savage. I see that. ELS, get some coffee in you, brother. Get some coffee in you. Oh, man. That's why I got the big mug today. I got my nice big one here. Usually the Giants one is the one I drink out of for being the big one, but I don't know if I feel like it's bad luck. I mean, the entire season's done anyway. I should just drink it out of the big mug anyway. I don't care, but it seems like it's bad. I don't know. ELS says, give the ball to Jonathan Taylor. Yes, because he's got Taylor on his fantasy team. Snap, hold, kick, up is no good. No good. The extra point wide to the right. Just right. Hey, we got more body boys. Hey, sorry, body boy, but you got to go. ELS is on the prowl, and he does not have coffee, so look out. He's in a mood. He's in a mood this morning. Crafty pointing out that the Colts are currently playing without their top pass rusher as well as Buckner. It has been ruled out and is out of this game. Where's this? I wanted to see this. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting little nugget there. By the way, this is, I think, the news. This is what ELS was talking to me about. Packers star pass rusher Micah Parsons will line up Monday night against the Eagles. The Cowboys went out of their way last summer to ensure Parsons would not play for the division rival Eagles, at least not anytime soon. Unbeknownst to everyone except the few who crafted the August blockbuster trade that sent Parsons from Dallas to Green Bay, there was a poison pill condition in that deal that, according to sources involved with the deal, prevents the two-time All-Pro from playing for Philadelphia in the immediate future. The previously unreported condition states that if the Packers decide to trade Parsons to a team in the NFC East, the Eagles tried to trade for him last summer, by the way, in case you guys forgot, then Green Bay would owe Dallas its 2028 first-round draft pick. Sources involved in the trade told ESPN. The poison pill condition also was used on Kenny Clark, the other player involved in the trade. According to sources, if the Cowboys trade Clark to a team in the NFC North, they would owe the Packers their 2028 first-round pick. Interesting. Interessante. Crafty says Michael Badgley, more like Michael Badley. Paul in the chat says Money Badger, more like Moneyless Badger, says Crafty, our resident dad joker. Yeah, interesting take with the Micah thing. It makes sense, and that's why everybody was also saying, man, oh boy, the Eagles should trade for Micah Parsons. That was never going to happen. As crazy as people think Jerry is, Jerry's not going to give the Eagles Micah Parsons. That was never going to happen. Crafty in the chat saying that's a clever provision. Yeah, it's they call it the Brett Favre clause. And here's the kick as the Colts get a touchdown, but miss the extra point, so lead only 6-0 in Dagomani. Falcons are not going to get to the 20-yard line on the kick return. They're going to get up to about the 18-yard line, and that is it. So 1st and 10, Penix and the Falcons take the field for their second drive, hoping it goes better than the first drive did. Some news here. Jets head coach Aaron Glenn kept his decision about the team starting quarterback's secret up until today, but it is expected that Justin Fields will start for the New York Jets. If anybody cares about that game, and outside of bettors, I don't think anyone cares, even Jets or Browns fans. 1st and 10, Penix running for his life. Throws down the field, wide open, caught by Drake London down to the 50-yard line. 1st down, Falcons. ELS in the chat says, King, I'm happy about the Badgers win, but how the F did the kicker get more passing yards than our quarterback? Because they're not good. And surprisingly, Washington was ranked. And apparently, I mean, you can't lose. If you're Washington, you can't lose that game. Drake London again. And that's going to be a gain of 12 and another 1st down, as now the Falcons are inside the Colts' 40-yard line. And they are moving this ball. 1st and 10 coming up here. Penix takes the snap. It's going to be handoff to Bijan, and Bijan's going to get to the 34. Looks like he gets to the 34. 2nd and 6 will be upcoming here for the Falcons. Crafty in the chat says that drive shouldn't have ended like that. Bad drop by the Falcons receiver. Yeah, you had a bad drop, and then Penix getting blindsided. Like, you got, like, you have to know and see that coming if you're a quarterback. You have to be able to read a defense. And that was a lot of younger quarterbacks' problems in these last couple of years is not being able to read that pressure. That was Anthony Richardson's biggest problem with Indianapolis. Well, that and his accuracy and his decision-making. And there's a lot of things wrong with Anthony Richardson. Penix, big ball down the field, and there's a flag down. It's going to be our first flag of the game, and they're going to call pass interference. Mooney was the intended receiver. Looks like Mekhi Blackman is going to get the call for pass interference, and indeed, he is. And there we go, our very first flag in Berlin, Germany. ELS says, time for a cup of coffee, so say goodbye to Savage ELS. We'll see. I know we're going to see Savage ELS tomorrow night when the Packers take on the Eagles in the tush-push game. Crafty says that Penix is still basically a rookie in terms of actual playing experience. I guess so in that aspect, but he's had a season and a half now, and he's had one full offseason. Oh, big run there by Algieri. Oh, I'm sorry. No, there was Algieri. I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the wrong roster. There was Algieri. I thought I knew my boy Algieri. So first and goal and touchdown. Algier and the Falcons get on the board. And now they're an extra point away from taking the lead here in Berlin. That Colts defense not looking great on that second Falcons drive as the Falcons just march right down the field. And they started back on they didn't even make the 20-yard line on the kickoff. But still marched down the field. It was an 81 yards, 82-yard drive. Zane Gonzalez in after they've cut Romo and they cut Young Wei Koo. And the Falcons make a kick. That is a big story, apparently. The Falcons make a kick, and they take the lead 7-6 over the Colts in Germany. Both teams have scored a touchdown. Only one team has scored an extra point. That would be the Falcons. Colts get the ball next to see if they can go ahead and take the lead back. Crafty says, Colts are finding out what it's like to play a real, quote-unquote, NFC team. Well, the Falcons are 3-5. Are they real? Are they real? Are they really real? Really? Oh. Oh, about that. The Falcons have talent, but they just can't ever put anything together. And again, it's early days here. It's early days in this game. And it's early days here on the stream, as again, I'm going to be here with you for most of the day. We're not doing 4 o'clock games today. But we have the Giants and Bears, obviously Giants, coming up at 1. That appears to be a snow game on the way. We had a little bit of snow game yesterday, too. Notre Dame and Navy ended up being a snow game. Also ended up being a blowout. Way to go, Irish. Wisconsin, as we were talking about here with ELS, Wisconsin with the upset of, what was Washington, 24, 25, something like that? Upsetting Washington at home, so Wisconsin gets a win. Congratulations to them. And we'll be getting the top 25, I think around noon-ish, somewhere around there. That's when they usually do it. What were the results for yesterday? Let's see. Ohio State beat Purdue. Okay. Indiana, boy, they had a real scraper there with Penn State, huh? They had a real I think that was a case of them maybe looking past Penn State to Ohio State next week, and can't do that. You can't do that because that's how you end up losing the game. Texas A&M pulled away from Missouri. That's a good win there. Missouri ranked 22. Alabama crushes LSU 20-9. Georgia beat Mississippi State. Ole Miss played the Citadel, so they had basically a cupcake week. Texas Tech crushes number 7 BYU. My God. So BYU might have got exposed here. Oregon with a bear win against Iowa. Man, I feel bad for Iowa if they got that 2-point conversion. If it wasn't so rainy and that cat didn't slip on the plastic, it might have been a good 2-point conversion. And then we're talking about a different game there. Notre Dame 49-10 over Navy, ranked number 10 was Notre Dame. Wake Forest at 16 beat number 14 Virginia 16-9. Cal upset Louisville 29-26. Vanderbilt did beat Auburn 45-38. The Hurricanes beat Syracuse 38-10, and Wisconsin again beat number 23 Washington. So here we go, 1st and 10 from the 35 after a touchback on the kickoff. Handoff to Jonathan Taylor, and he's going to rip it to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, down to the 37-yard line of the Falcons is Jonathan Taylor. And on one play, the Colts go from their 35 almost to the Falcons' 35. They're on the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Colts. ELS has got to be happy. Jonathan Taylor looks like he's going to be putting up some yardage and some points here in this game. I missed the argument. No, I saw you guys talking about snow games. There was something towards the end about snow games, but that was all I was seeing. I'll have to go back and check. 1st and 10, Daniel Jones steps back, looks, throws, deep ball, caught! Touchdown! Pierce with the catch, and Daniel Jones dropping Danny dimes. That's what he does. That's what he's always done. People just didn't see it here in New York because he had a shitty goddamn coach. But Daniel Jones putting that right where he needed to be. And that looked like double coverage. And he still put it right where it needed to be. Great catch. Great throw. Touchdown. Indianapolis Colts. As I drop my phone. Drop my phone in excitement. So do the Colts go for 2 here to make it a full touchdown game? Nope, they're going to trust their kicker again. Snap, hold, kick is up, and this time it is directly down the middle. So the Colts with 2 touchdowns lead 13-7 over the Atlanta Falcons now. It's Atlanta's turn to respond. Can the Colts defense stiffen up here in Germany? ELS says no. It was about the Eagles and one of the Notre Dame players. Oh yeah, he wants every Notre Dame player on the Eagles. I already told him no. I told him no. He can't do that. It's not allowed. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. It won't be allowed. Crafty says you dropped your phone like Danny dropped them dimes. Boo 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 boo. Fucking stupid. I'm so stupid. I love doing this, though. What else am I going to do? What else am I doing? So, might as well have fun here on the stream with you guys. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us here early in the morning here on Stay Tuned Sports. Crafty's in the chat joining us. ELS is in the chat joining us. Lloyd was in there before. I don't know if he jumped back in or not because I guess he might have thought I was ignoring him, which I wasn't. I just, the chat froze. So, that is what it is. But, Lloyd was in here. We'll probably have a couple. Paul was in here a little bit earlier. I know he's very focused on this game right now. Is our good friend Paul. So that is fine. But if you want to join the community, come join with the conversation. Join with the chat. You want to talk about your games upcoming this week, everything like that. Paul in the chat says it's so pretty. It's so pretty. As he's a big fan of those Indianapolis Colts, and of course, now that he's doing well, Daniel W. Dimes III. ELS in the chat says, go Colts. Well, ELS is rooting for the Colts because he's got Jonathan Taylor. Lloyd is in there. Great to see you, Lloyd. Thank you so much for joining us. Great to see you in there. Sorry about the hospital visit. I certainly hope that you're feeling better. Seems to be, unfortunately, a lot of people going through some shit right now. So, yeah, it's like everybody. So, certainly hope that you're feeling better. Just getting ready for your day. As are we all. on this. I was gonna say beautiful Sunday, but it is kind of rainy and cloudy out here in the northeast area, which again to me is beautiful. I love a cloudy, rainy, cold day. That is my jam. Other people like sunshiny and warm and everything. Keep that shit. You can keep that shit. Paul says Taylor MVP baby. I'm still more particular to Daniel Jones. I think he deserves it, but I mean both are doing very well. Atlanta is going to return the kick up to about the 27, maybe a 28-yard line. And that's where they'll start. 5:14 remaining here in the first quarter. Oh, Lloyd says, it wasn't me. I have a homie who has tapeworms in his head. You're friends with RFK Jr.? Awesome. ELS says, he's talking to Paul. Says, I'd look for Taylor 3 TD game. Of course you would, ELS. Of course you would. He's got one, and he's got a lot of yards so far, too. What is he up to? Jonathan Taylor up to 39 yards already on 5 carries and a touchdown. Bijan Robinson gets a minimal game, if any, gain on first down. Daniel Jones 4 of 6 for 72 yards and a touchdown. Penix, play action. Throws. Caught. Mooney with the catch. And he's going to be up all the way near the 44-yard line. Hand off to Bijan. Bijan's going to bust it out to the right side, and he's going to rush into Colts territory, get a first down near the 46-yard line of the Colts, 1st and 10 Falcons. Paul says, we are definitely a different team without Defoe in there. Going to be a long rest of the way for my Colts run defense. Yeah, I mean, DeForest Buckner was huge. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, the Colts, we haven't seen too much of Sauce Gardner. It looks like they haven't either tried to test Sauce Gardner's side yet. We haven't seen too much impact from him yet. This defense is looking a little shaky. Both of these teams just moving up and down the field seemingly at will at this point, outside of the first drives for each of these teams, which were 3 and outs basically. Not for the Colts. The Colts had a pretty good first drive. Incomplete pass. Mooney on 2nd and 5. 3rd and 5 upcoming here for the Falcons from the Colts' 41-yard line. That's what I said. I know he said Defoe, and without Defoe in there, I figured he meant DeForest. Yeah, crafty. At first I was like, Defoe. It's Defoe going to be a problem. But I was like, oh, yeah, no, he means DeForest Buckner. I got it. I started picking up what he was putting down, crafty. I picked it up. I'm dumb, but not as dumb as you think. 3rd and 5, Penix and shotgun. It's got trips to his right. Robinson is out there lined up wide. He's going to catch it and then immediately dropped. That's going to be a 4-yard loss. And that's going to move the ball back all the way to the 45-yard line. 4th and 9 for the Falcons. Ooh. The fact that Bijan still caught that, it would have been better if he dropped it. The Falcons are going to punt from the Colts' 45-yard line, looking to see if they can pin the Colts way back in their own end and get a change of field position here. The punt is away, and that's going to drop at the 5 and then go sideways, goes to the 3, rolls to the 2, and that is where it dies. And so the Falcons get a great punt, and they're going to pin the Colts all the way back at their own 2-yard line. 98 yards to glory coming up on the next drive for the Colts. What are they going to do? Crafty in the chat says, Danny's got to go 99. More like 98, but still. Will he be able to do so? Will he be able to get that drive that is kind of like it would be a dagger drive. It would be an absolute dagger drive. Early in the game, it would be a dagger drive. You pin a team back. You're like, boy, we got them. And they would go 98 yards, get a touchdown, and take a 2-touchdown lead before the first quarter ends. Again, 2:39 remaining here in the first quarter. So it would be either late first quarter, early second quarter, whenever they would be able to take that lead. That would start being a dagger. And then I think the Falcons, do they start panicking again and try to just keep on passing, and skip over Bijan Robinson like they've done the last couple of games? Because for me, for success for the Falcons is give Bijan the ball. Just give Bijan the ball. Just give Bijan the goddamn ball. ELS says, King, should I start Devontae Adams or Emeka Egbuka for my fantasy team in my own league? I don't know. What do we got with the games again? Because the Buccaneers are playing the Patriots. And the Los Angeles Rams, they are playing. Oh, the Niners. Boy, I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's a good conundrum. Here's the thing. I think the Rams right now maybe have more weapons that they can spread it around to. Puka, even with the chest injury, I think Puka's playing. They might be able to spread the ball around. If Egbuka's playing again, I know that the Tampa Bay has some injury issues still, so they might lean on him more. So maybe go with Egbuka. I don't know. We'll see. Crafty in the chat says Elwood became a legend by going 98 yards. The drive. First and 10 from the zone, end zone. Tyler Warren with the reception at tight end. And it's going to give him some breathing room there at least. Anyway, 8 yards. 2nd and 2 upcoming. They get it out to the 10. Second and 2. Daniel Jones escapes the pressure. Looking to run, pulls it down, and he's going to get the first down. On the scramble, Daniel Jones doing good work there under pressure and moves the chains. It's going to be first down and 10 from the 13-yard line for Daniel Jones and the Colts. Vikings running back Aaron Jones, who is listed as questionable with an AC joint sprain, is expected to play today for the Vikings. Daniel Jones, 1st and 10, steps back, looks, throws over the middle, into the ground. Tyler Warren was the intended receiver, incomplete. 2nd and 10. Second and 10. Trips to the left for Daniel Jones. He steps up in the pocket. He pulls it down, and he's going to run. Daniel Jones, people forget he's got wheels. People forget about Danny Dimes' wheels, man. He's got it. ELS says the bots are gone. Since I've had my coffee, no bots. So we'll see. You might have just jinxed it. Maybe we'll get bots. Maybe we'll get some bots here. Or maybe they know ELS is here. We don't fuck with ELS. If it's just King, We'll go in there. We'll screw up his chat. We'll fuck up his OBS chat. He'll freeze. He'll ignore people because he doesn't see the chat moving. You can do that. But now ELS is here. The sheriff's in town, baby. ELS. He locks them clankers up. 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Daniel Jones, after that first down run from the 26-yard line, throws out wide. That's going to be caught. Good for about 6 yards, but we have a flag down. What do we got? Josh Downs was the intended, or was the receiver, but it looks like it's going to be against the Colts here. Not sure what the call is yet. They're going to say a legal man downfield. How? It was passed immediately. It can't be a legal man downfield if it was a screen. Like, I don't know. That seems like a bad call to me. They're going to call Rayman for that call. So knocks him back 5 yards. 1st and 15 now. And that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. They're going to let that run down. Crafty in the chat says, if Danny is Indiana Jones, does that make Dayball the moron who tried to steal the golden idol from Indy and then walked into a wall spike? Maybe I would say like maybe Dayball's more like the. I would have put Dayball more as like the Nazi guy who ended up getting. But why did that do that? Oh, my thing just What happened to my thing? Why did my thing not? Where's my NFL Network stream just got wonky? Not sure why. What is going on? What happened? Hold on. I got to figure something out. Because I just had NFL Network, and now it's all being wonky again, and I don't know why. Okay, I think I got it back. Jesus, what was that, boys? What was that, boys? Don't do that. Don't do that. Chris, face melt guy. You know, the guy with the glasses, the face melt guy. That's I would say he's more that guy. Because the other guy wasn't so much evil. He was just, you know, he was a rival archaeologist, and he wanted to get to think too, and maybe a little greedy or whatever. But glasses guy, he was just straight up evil. He was evil. He's one of those evil guys. So I think that's more Dable. Dable to me is more culpable as the evil guy because he's just evil. Crafty says Dable is the plane mechanic who thought he thought he had Andy right where he wanted him and then turned and walked into a plane propeller. 1st and 15 after that penalty. Daniel Jones throws deep down the field, caught. And that's Pierce again, and that's another first down for the Colts as they have it now at their own 47. Somebody just yelled there for no reason. Jones under center here for the snap. Man in motion to his right. Play action. Daniel Jones gets absolutely crushed on pressure, gets it to Tyler Warren. It's going to be good for a 9-yard gain for the Colts. My God. Daniel Jones, feeling that pressure, makes a great decision and gets the ball off. Like, my God. That's the quarterback that the Giants gave her. Oh, we can't work with this guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, Daniel Jones was the problem, right? Daniel Jones was the problem here in New York. Handoff to Taylor, easily gets the first down to the 39-yard line. 1st and 10, Indianapolis Colts. Gretty says that was one crazy ass completion. I'll tell you what, man. I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching my Giants organization get embarrassed by the people they let go. It just, it's the only joy I can have. The last 15 seasons when it comes to the Giants. Daniel Jones, 1st and 10, getting pressure. He's going to pull it down, runs out of the pocket, and gets hit. Ball comes out, but it goes out of bounds. It'll end up being a no gain there. Got to hold on to that ball better, DJ. Yeah, it goes back to the spot of the fumble, which was the line of scrimmage where he fumbled it. So, oh yeah, he's holding it like a loaf of bread, and all it takes is one little hit to knock that out. You got to hold that. You got to always hold that better, DJ. That's one problem that he had with the Giants that he got to fix that. You can't be doing that. Daniel Jones here throws on 2nd and 11. Downs gets a gain of 2 yards. Gretty says, dang, Danny's fingers are still buttery, though. Yeah, a little bit. You can't be holding it like a loaf of bread there. Irish in the chat. Great to see you, Irish. Thank you so much for joining us here. Irish Panic in the chat. There, look at that. The whole chat's woken up here on the early Sunday morning to watch this Colts and Falcons game. 3rd and 8 from the 37-yard line of the Falcons. Daniel Jones is in shotgun. Takes the snap. It's a pitch out to Taylor. Taylor's going to cut it up. Gets another 2 yards, but that's it. So it's going to be 4th and 6 from the 35-yard line of the Falcons. Be roughly 53-yard field goal upcoming. Let's see if their kicker can make this kick. He missed an extra point earlier in the game. That's why it is 13-7. The Colts have scored 2 touchdowns, but are 1 for 2 on extra points. Now here we go. 53-yard field goal. Snap, hold, kick is up. And no good. That's short. Crafty might have been right initially. Michael Badgley, more like Michael Badley, kicks the football. He's 1 for 2 on kicks so far in this game. He's made 1 extra point, he's missed an extra point, and now he's missed a 53-yard field goal, which I know sounds a long way, but in today's NFL, the 53-yard field goal is almost a routine field goal now. Irish says, I got up from my 2-hour nap, getting ready to continue my 16-hour work Sunday. God bless you, sir. My God. That's you know what though? That's the roughness. That's the real life. That's the real life that people do. I've seen it. You know, my dad has worked like that his entire life. My dad is a truck driver. He still does that. He's 80 years old and still busts his ass. And I see that from a lot of people. A lot of people I know A lot of people who I used to work with, and it makes me stop and think about how awfully lazy I am, and how terrible of a person I am, and how I have no work ethic, and everything I do is pretty terrible. And that's all true too. But yeah, man. So keep kicking ass out there at work, man. Keep on fucking doing your thing, man. Irish in the chat saying I work 64 hours a week. That's what I mean. That almost seems to be normal nowadays. Unfortunately. Thanks, government. And of course they're gonna steal half your fucking check too, but don't get me started on taxation is theft and all that other shit. I'll start showing my libertarianism right here all of a sudden. Oh my god, it's a not political channel. We don't do anything like that. I'm neither left nor right. I'm just anti-taxation. So now the Falcons, they're going to have the ball in pretty good field position. They're going to have it at their own 43-yard line, first and 10, 10:40 remaining here in the first half. I'm going to grab a quick cup of coffee again. Again, it's still pretty early, and I'll be right back. What happened in 1936? Who built it? They said it was built in 1936. Did they say who built it? I don't know if did they pass that particular information along? I don't know. I didn't quite hear that. Second and 9 upcoming here after a 1-yard gain on first down. Penix takes the snap, surveys the field, gets away from some pressure. Now he's running for his life. Looks, throws, and just throws that out of bounds. 3rd and 9 upcoming here for the Falcons. I'm hearing that now, Crafty. Yeah, they're talking about Hitler and Jesse Owens again. It's like, good job trying to cover, but whistles blow as play clock was running down. It looks like the Falcons called a timeout. Just looking for any other. Here we go, 3rd and 9 again. Getting ready here. Oh, Penix is getting pressured. Oh, he's running for his life. He's at the 40. He's going to try to put. Nope, he's done it. He just sits down at the line of scrimmage. 4th and 9. Falcons will have to punt. That went all kinds of sideways, but not forward, which is the goal of the game. Crafty in the chat says maybe Raheem Morris should devote more time to scheming up offensive plays instead of lecturing his players about the Third Reich. Okay. Oh, I didn't move. Why did I not? I have such an issue. I made it so easy to move the possession ball, and I keep on forgetting to move the goddamn possession ball. And the Colts, they're going to get it all the way out to the 29 on the punt return. And there's a flag down. What's this going to be? Looks like it's going to be against the Colts. Holding on the Colts, it's going to be half the distance to the goal. So that's going to give Indianapolis the ball at the 7-yard line. So again, another long drive coming up here for the Colts. Oh, why does that say 9 flags? That it should not. It should say 3. There we go. I was wondering why that was wrong. Might have overfilled my coffee cup here for a little bit. 1st and 10. Daniel Jones from the 6.5-yard line, really. DJ takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Taylor. Taylor's going to get it up to the 12-yard line. 2nd and 5 after a 5-yard game. Second and 4. Daniel Jones in shotgun. Bunch formation to his left. It's going to be a pitch out here to Taylor. Taylor's going to run for 4 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 1 coming up for the Colts. I would figure Jonathan Taylor can get a yard here. You'd think, you'd hope, if you're a Colts fan. And there's whistles before the play. Whistles before the play. What's this going to be? Offsides? It seems like, yep, full start on the Colts. So it goes from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6. My chat freeze again? I don't know. We'll see. Nope. 3rd and 6. Daniel Jones in shotgun. Pierce in motion. Jones throws over the middle. Oh, off of Pierce. There's got to be a flag there. It looked like he was all over him. No flag. Incomplete. 4th and 6. Colts will punt. Here's another flag. Uh-oh. Are we going to start? Are we going to start with this? Are we going to start with this? This early? We're going to start with this bullshit? You were doing good. You were doing good with the flags. You were keeping them away. Why are we doing this? Too many men on the field for the Falcons. Penalties declined. Still count the flag. I don't know why we had to have such a long delay for that, but we did. And there we go. Falcons get the ball. They have it at their own 45. Woo! Coffee burp. What's worse? I'll say it. What's worse? Coffee burp, hot dog burp, or taco burp? I've had all three. I don't think either one is particularly pleasant. Crafty says, "Why would that be declined? Because then it would be just 5 yards and then a re-kick. I guess they didn't want to re-kick it and have a chance of them either running it back or getting a worse field position. I guess you take the field position that you can. I don't know. In my mind, that seems to be what the thought process would be. I don't know if it's a correct thought process or not, but that seems to be the thought process that Steichen went with. So, Grifty says taco burps come out of the other end. Well, I mean, then those would be taco farts, and those are, you can't trust a taco fart. That's for sure. Many in underwear have lost their lives due to people trying to trust a taco fart. Nothing new on the NFL news aspect of this. Ugh. Yeah, you can tell it's still early in the morning because my fat ass is yawning. And you might be too, but that's why I got to get some coffee and do this. We will not, I will say this. Next week's European game there is in Madrid, and it's going to be, what is it? It's the Dolphins and Redskins. We will not be covering that game. I mean, I'm not waking up for Dolphins and Redskins. That's not happening. So here we go. Falcons looking to get back into this game and tie it up or take the lead with a touchdown and extra point. Bijan, gain of 4 yards on first down, 2nd and 6. Paul says, well, this is a good game at least. It is a good game. I'll say that, Paul. And I know you're, as a Colts fan, you're a little bit more on the kind of side of it. You're very much more, the anxiety, the nerves are there with you. And I get it. I understand that. But for us, not super involved people, just watching for the love of the game, yeah, it's a good game. A little sloppy on some sides here, but particularly the Falcons. The Falcons are being very sloppy. But a good game nonetheless. London in motion. Penix takes the snap, looks. He's going to throw over the middle. It's going to be caught. Charlie Warner. If the announcer is to be believed, that's his first catch of the entire year, and it was basically a desperation pass there from Penix as he was getting pressured. Charlie Warner, Woerner. So not like Kurt Warner, but Charlie Warner, like Woerner. He has much woe. But instead, it's a first down, and it's in Colts territory from the 46-yard line. I'm sorry, from the 36-yard line of Indianapolis. My apologies. Hand off to Algier, and he's going to get 3 yards. 2nd and 7 coming up for now from the 33 of the Indianapolis Colts. Penix in his usual shotgun formation. He does have Bijan in the backfield with him. Mooney in motion. Takes the snap. Throws. That's going to be caught by Drake London. Another first down for the Falcons as they are being efficient on this drive, and they are moving the ball against this Colts defense. They are already down to the Colts' 20-yard line. The Falcons are in the red zone. .405 remaining here in a second with time ticking. 1st and 10 from the 20. Gives it to Bijan in the backfield. Gets hit. Does not get taken down. Gains 4 yards on that carry. 2nd and 6 from the 16 of the Colts now. Falcons driving, threatening. Can the Colts stiff it up? Can they put up their own Berlin Wall and keep the Falcons out? Penix on 2nd and 6. Floats a pass to the end zone. Did he catch it or did he drop it? They're going to say he caught it, and that's a touchdown for the Falcons. And just like that, the Falcons are an extra point away from taking the lead again. I didn't know if he caught it or dropped it. London looking a little soft coming up here. Interesting. And we have an interesting game. 13-all right now, pending the extra point. Yeah, no, that's a catch. That's a good catch. That's a good catch. Crafty in the chat says Penix just keeps forcing it into his receivers. Oh, my God. So here we go. Zay Gonzalez again. Just signed this week by the Falcons after they released Romo. Snap, hold. That kick is up, and it is good. And the Falcons, again, have a 1-point lead over the Indianapolis Colts, 14-13, here in Berlin. 3:25 remaining in the second quarter. And by the way, it is the second quarter. I never fixed the quarter thing. Boy, you could tell it's early. You could tell it's early. Why didn't anybody point out the fact that it still said first quarter? I need your help. I know it's early for you guys, too. I need your help sometimes. I told you I'm dumb. I'm maybe not so dumb, but I am pretty dumb still. Oh, God. Ugh. That's what happens on these early morning games. Just losing it. Listening to the commercial songs. Royal Caribbean? No. I'm not a cruise guy anyway, so. Crafty in the chat says, I love how Trevor Lawrence commercials pretend that he has accuracy. Germans are in full throat singing out there in the Berlin. Kick is away, and that's going to be taken at the 4. To the 20. To the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 45-yard line for the Colts, but don't get excited. Never get excited watching football. Just never get excited watching football. There's no reason to get excited. If there's a good play, exciting play, never mind. Holding on the Colts during the return, say the officials, so who gives a shit? 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul. So that's going to put them way back in their own territory yet again. Crafty says, notice there's a cutaway between Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball and the receiver catching his pass. So instead of being on the 45-yard line, the Colts are all the way back at their own 14 to start this drive. Colts looking to maybe answer before halftime here, as the Falcons will get the ball first in the second half. Jones looks, throws. It's going to be caught. Right by the first down by Pittman. They're going to mark him just short, apparently. I thought he got there, but indeed, I think they're going to say first down. No, they're saying he's still second down short. I thought he would have had that. It looked like he had it to me anyway. 2nd and 1, Daniel Jones. Hand off to Taylor, and Taylor's going to get the yard. So he's up to the 25-yard line. First down, Colts. For a 240. I mixed up numbers. I'm apparently number dyslexic. Now it's 2:35 remaining here in the second quarter. Clock is running. 1st and 10. Colts not showing a ton of urgency here. They have all 3 timeouts. From the 25. Jones looks, throws. He gets the Taylor out of the backfield. Taylor's going to get him 4 yards. 2nd and 6. And that's going to go right down to the 2-minute warning. So, again, the Colts not showing a ton of urgency, letting about a minute and a half go off that clock. Still deep in the road in there at the 29-yard line. Jesus Christ, Crafty. Crafty in the chat says, that's the most red I've seen in a German crowd since Stalin's forces marched. Jeez. Can we have a stream about Germany that doesn't mention either Hitler or Stalin, please, for the love of God? It doesn't help when the broadcast brings it up either. Olympia Stadium that was built in 1936 for Hitler's Olympics. All right. We know, like, we're fairly. I think the world is fairly aware of the Third Reich. You know, I'm fair. You know, I don't think there's anybody out there, really anywhere in the educated world that's like, oh, really? 1936? What was going on in Germany at that time? I don't know. What happened? Like, that's not the case. You say 1930s and you say Germany, people understand the setting, if you will. Lloyd says the Austrian painter was bad. Well, he had one good painting in his bunker in 1945. At least there's that. He had at least one good painting. The ceiling. Apparently, it inspired Kurt Cobain to do his own, so it was very weird. If the Colts end up losing this game by like 1 point, or even like 3 points because the kicker missed a goddamn field goal too, like. Daniel Jones with a hard count as we're getting out of the 2-minute warning here. Takes the snap. Looks, throws. That's going to be caught. Pierce with the catch down to the 40-yard line. Colts now starting to rush, put a little wiggle in their step. Crafty in the chat says, yeah, I was going to say his best painting was his last one. Big fan. Big fan of that painting. It was a great painting. 128, 127, 126 remaining. Daniel Jones surveys the field, pulls it down. He's going to run it. He gets to the 45, slides down at the 50. And they're going to give him just a yard short of the first down here. 2nd and 1. Daniel Jones takes the snap. Looks, and then he's going to get sacked. Oh, no! What you couldn't do.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
Lloyd, people have been saying since 1945 that he escaped to Argentina. There's a lot of conspiracy theories and fun things about that, but there's never really been any evidence. The FBI, again, you have the FBI files that looked into it. You have CIA files that looked into it. OSS at the time. Everybody looked into it, but nothing really, there's been no concrete evidence. Now, a lot of them did go to Argentina and Chile and all those places. Daniel Jones on 3rd and 11 throws. Deep ball down the field, and that's going to be picked off. Oh, no. 8 seconds remaining on the clock. Daniel Jones trying to make something out of nothing, and it gets picked. But it's all the way down at the... Totally, in fact, like again, the Falcons might try. The Falcons have 2 timeouts, so they might be able to get a deep ball. Well, they have 1 timeout left because I think they took another one. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Falcons after the call. Oh, wait, no. So the Falcons didn't do it. Okay, hold on. So now it's a 15-yard penalty. Let me put the flag up. Oh, there was a flag. And that makes 7 flags. In the first quarter was looking good with the flags. But we got a little too much. Betsy says Daniel Penny's on that drive. Yeah, not great. Not great. And then Crafty also says, well, Daniel Jones might have not done well on that drive, but Penix is good at forcing it to. You talking about Deshaun Watson or? Irish in the chat says, made it to work. Sorry about not telling you all about the quarter change. I was listening. Thank you. Thank you, Irish. Crafty says that was basically just a punt. At the end of the day, yeah, even without the penalty, it was just a punt anyway. And that does it. Halftime here in Berlin, Germania. The Falcons lead by a point, 14-13 over the Indianapolis Colts, and the Falcons get the second half kickoff. entertaining half. It wasn't terrible. A little sloppy, obviously. A little sloppy. Daniel Jones, again, that last pick is it looks bad on the stat sheet. Crafty excited because he gets to see Colleen Wolfe on NFL Network. Seeing Colleen Wolfe is always a good thing. Listen, I'll tell you what, I like Cynthia Freeland too. I think a lot of people get kind of weird because of her nose or something. They like say weird shit about it. I think Cynthia Freeland's an absolute dime. But yeah, Colleen Wolfe. If Colleen Wolfe had the same particular cell phone video come out that Carissa Thompson did, that would be fun. That would be an interesting time on the internet. Daniel Jones currently has 11. Terrible people. 11 of 16, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He's thrown for 142 yards. He's also had some pretty decent runs in this game as well. Michael Penix 7 for 10 for 99 yards. Got the Gretzky yards there and a touchdown. Bijan's had 9 carries for 47 yards. Jonathan Taylor's got 10 for 57 and a touchdown. Drake London has 72 yards in receiving yards, but on 4 catches. Pierce for the Colts, he's got 84 yards on 4 receptions, also with a touchdown. Irish in the chat says, Jones has this amazing tight end that he never seems to be able to get the ball to. I disagree. He's gotten the ball to Tyler Leonard. He's got it to him plenty of times. I think he got it twice. I think he's got 2 catches today as it is. You know, you can't get it to everybody all the time. And Pierce was his guy. Maybe he was trying to force it there too. Maybe that's something that can change. You know, lean a little bit more on Taylor. See what? Because that's the other thing too. If the Falcons are focusing on Tyler Warren. If they're focusing on Tyler Warren, then what do you do? You know, you got to find other open guys. So, Crafty says that it still sucked that Colleen Wolfe is legally allowed to marry somebody other than me. Oh, yeah, I know that's upsetting. That's upsetting. It's a shame. You never know, man. Hey, you never know. Shoot your shot. Look at. Travis Kelce shot a shot with Taylor Swift. Now they're getting married, and he's banging maybe the most famous girl in the world. So you never know. You never know, Crafty. Shoot your shot. What's the worst that could happen? She says no. Just leave it at that, because you go any further, then the worst that can happen is you get arrested, restraining order, thrown in jail, become a prison bitch. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Colleen is looking good with the ponytail hair extensions, though. I'll say that. Irish says that Warren hasn't done well for me in fantasy in a few weeks. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is you have to remember, it's not about... In the end of the day, everybody worries about their fantasy team, but, you know, these guys doing the game, they don't give a shit about your fantasy team. They're trying to win fucking games. So, at the end of the day, it's you doing that. Paul says, don't drop the soap there, Crafty. Leave Colleen alone. I think I preferred Colleen Wolfe with that short haircut, though. Not quite the bob, but a little bit longer. I think I like that. I was going to say, I agree with Colleen on that take. It did seem like the Colts... It seems like the Colts played the better football in that half. And it's crazy that they're down a point. For as well as they see, like, just from the eyeball test, the Colts played better football. And I think they have. But sometimes, that's unfortunately, that's the game of football sometimes. Sometimes you can be the better team and play better football, and you still end up losing. He's still doing good enough to where people are pointing out how good he is as a rookie tight end, though. Like, Tyler Warren is a topic of conversation. It's not like he's faded into the background. Just because he's not putting up the tight end numbers that you hoped he did in your fantasy league, that is what it is. Crafty says that, yeah, Michael badly cost them 4 points. And that's huge. That comes up. Paul in the chat says that the Colts need to get a huge stop to start the second half. Our kicker sucks. Yeah, maybe start looking around. Maybe start seeing who's out there. I know Parker Romo's available from the Falcons, but I don't know if you want him. The Giants, I still think, have Young Wei Koo on their practice squad. But I think we need him because Gano didn't make the trip to Chicago today. So I think Young Wei Koo might be kicking for us. We'll see who we elevate there or not. Paul says that Warren also does a lot of blocking for the Colts. Yeah, that too. I didn't on that sack for Daniel Jones that made it 3rd and 11, unfortunately. Falcons start the second half with the ball because the Colts stupidly decided to start with the ball despite winning the coin. See, that's the thing. I always expect now the team that is kicking it won the toss and deferred. If what you're saying is the case, that the Colts got it and said, "Fuck it, we're gonna get the ball first." I mean, that's how it was done before you could defer. Which what you've been able to defer in the NFL for a couple. It feels like almost 20 years now. When did they change that? How long have you been able to... ...2008. The NFL has allowed teams to defer the opening kickoff since the 2008 season. This rule change gave the team that wins the coin toss the option to choose to receive the ball or to defer that choice until the second half. That's the other thing, too. You just defer the choice. You could kick it off in the first half and then decide for some reason, you know what, I'm going to kick it off again in the second half. You could do that. It would be dumb, but you could. I don't think it would be the smartest idea, but you could do it. Excuse me. Irish says Tyler Warren, his season high in half PPR is 15.8, but hasn't gone over 15 since week 6. He's not doing bad for an 11th round pick and a tight end, but I'm greedy. I think you are. I think you're being a little greedy. You don't have to be that greedy. Falcons cornerback D. Alford has a concussion. He's been ruled out for the rest of this game with the Colts. Some of the latest news there. I got to figure out like a halftime thing for us to do here. Just wait it out. We can't just sit here ogling Colleen Wolfe the whole time. I mean, we can. It would just be weird. Madrid. Is that at the new Bernabeu? Whatever the fuck they call that. Yeah. Redskins versus Dolphins. I will be skipping that game. Why is that German guy singing into a pufferfish? What is... I don't even know what that is. That's weird. That's what it is. It's weird. I mean, Germans are weird, though. Germans can get a bit kooky, you know. The Kid Leroy. Paul in chat says, if you depend on a tight end to win games in fantasy, you might want to draft better. That sounds like a shot across my bow because I'm terrible at drafting fantasy teams. My fantasy team is not great this year. ELS can tell you that. My fantasy team right now is presented by Little Caesars. My fantasy team is not presented by Little Caesars. That would be awesome. I'm 5-4 currently. I lost my last 2 games. Man, I could have been 7-2. That'd have been great. My team is what it is, though. Like, I don't think I have a bad team. Got Josh Allen at quarterback, Genty at running back, Charbonnet, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Rashid Shaheed. Now, I put him in because I think somebody was on a bye. Sam Laporta as my tight end. DJ Moore as my flex. Vikings defense. Will Reichard as the kicker. Again, I usually have Butker there, but they're on a bye. Oh, that was it. The reason I have Shaheed in there is because Rashee Rice was my other wide receiver. But all the Chiefs are on a bye. And Jackson Dart as a backup quarterback is not a bad choice either. So not bad. Paul says, "Why is that German guy singing into a pufferfish?" Was definitely not on my bingo card today. I was gonna say, I don't know what it looked like. It might have been a bird. Upon closer inspection, from the backlit kind of silhouette look, it was like, why is he singing into a fucking pufferfish? That looks fucking weird. Or it looks like it might have been like some kind of bird or raven or some shit he was singing into. Even still, kind of weird. Irish in the chat says, I don't have any Dolphins or Redskins players on any of my fantasy teams, but I'll be at work for the Europe game next week. I will. You can be at work for that, and that is fine, and pay attention to it. I will not be covering that game. That is not something that will get an ounce of my time. Maybe if the Redskins were a little bit better, if they weren't as injured, if the Dolphins were maybe a little bit better, if it seemed like it might have been a better game. The reason I'm covering this game is because I think the Falcons are a good team at times when they put things together. They have very talented players, and I think the Colts obviously are one of the best teams in the NFL currently. So I was going to cover this game. But for a game that is against two teams that are most likely at this point, I think we can assume are not making the playoffs. There's a lot of people out there that are not going to have interest in that game. I don't have an interest in that game, and why cover a game that either you nor I will have interest in? Now I know you're going to sit there and say, but King, you still cover the Giants games, and they're 2-shit. So why do you watch that? Because I'm a Giants fan. So that's always going to be that. Like if the Packers suck all of a sudden out of nowhere, like is Tom Grossi going to stop watching the Packers? If the Broncos suck, is Brandon Perner going to stop watching the Broncos? No, that's their base. That's their channel. That's what we do here. Now, when Jimbo was a part of this, we also watched the Eagles. So we watched every Giants game and every Eagles game is what we watched. And then if there was other games in between, or the team had a primetime game like the Eagles on Monday night, so we'd watch other games, we'd watch some other games. But the focus was always Giants, Eagles, or both. So that's why. Irish, your fantasy team here is, he says, Josh Allen, Puka Nacua. That's good, Jay. I say, hey, a lot of the same guys I got. Barkley, Warren, Sutton, J.K. Dobbins, Montgomery, Boswell as the kicker. That's pretty good. And the Browns defense. That's not bad. That is not a bad fantasy team, not to mention the other players on my bench. I'm not relying on my tight end. Oh, you're flexing. You're doing a flex. You're doing a flex. You're just greedy, is what you say. Okay, so it goes back to you being greedy. That's all. Colts have 104 rushing yards, 131 passing yards. The Falcons, 63 rushing yards, 84 passing yards. Each team has a turnover. Colts have 6 points off of the Falcons' turnover. Start of the third quarter is underway. And I'll make sure to take the H off here and actually put the correct number of the quarter now. And the Falcons are going to get it up to about the 30-yard line on the kick return, and that's where they will start the second half. Irish says, yeah, I'm greedy, but the season point total is the tiebreaker in his fantasy league. I get that. So it's like college, basically. You got to run up the score because you never know if you're going to need it. I get it. First and 10. Penix is in shotgun. About 2 yards there for Algier. Stacey Dales appears confused and asking questions to Steichen. I'm not sure what you guys seem like you got some things, and I don't know. Come on, Stacey. Get with it. You enjoying some of that German pharmaceuticals too much, maybe? You're enjoying some of that Pervitin, perhaps? Although that would make you more focused, yeah. You're not seem very focused. Perhaps you do need some Pervitin. And give you focus, energy, and stamina to continue with your job of asking questions on the sidelines, yeah? I think it would be very good for you. What's the latest weather report there for Chicago? Irish in the chat says, the guy I'm facing in my $50 fantasy league still has Brian Thomas starting, but he's been out for this week. I'm hoping he doesn't change it. You got to hope maybe he sleeps in today. Sleeps in, fingers crossed, and then you're like, yeah, that's what you get for being like, here's the thing. Every fantasy league that I've ever been in has been for free. I've never been in the money league, ever, because I've never had money. I've always been poor. Like, I'm more poor now than I've ever been, but I've always been poor. Like I said, I have 17 cents in my bank account. I've got nothing else. Poor, broke piece of shit. So I've never been in like a pay league. And even still, like, I try to pay attention to as much as I can to my fantasy team and try to win these games. If I had money riding on my fantasy team, that would be a full-time job. I would be acting like an actual general manager, trying to work trades, picking up waivers, looking who's where, going through analytics, seeing every little stat line. Who am I going to put in, plug in? Who does well against this team and this opponent? Who plays well with this team when they play cover 2 or zero cover? Or what do they do when they, like, I would seriously be going ape shit. Like, I would turn into Howie Roseman if I was in a money league. So the fact that you're in a money league and there's a guy that, he might not update his roster before game time. It's like, what the are you doing? God, this is good coffee. You know what? You know what coffee this is actually? It's a mix. My own personal blend. It's just Seattle's Best, which is shitty coffee, and Maxwell House Dark Roast, which is shitty coffee. You just mix it together, it makes a pretty damn good coffee. A little bit of cinnamon in it too. You put a little bit of cinnamon in the brewer before you start. Goes, and on 2nd and 6, it's going to be a first down. This is after the injury, and that's going to get all the way down to the Indianapolis 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Bijan Robinson was out wide, but instead that goes to Kyle Pitts. First and 10 inside Indianapolis Colts territory from the 40-yard line. Penix and shotgun. Takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Bijan here, and Bijan was going to get stopped at the line. Instead, breaks out loose. Good for 11 yards. First down to the 29-yard line. 1st and 10, Falcons. Irish in the chat says, bro, I picked up an extra defense just for 2 games later in the season, and I'm probably going to pick up a 3rd defense for the playoffs. That's how much I pay attention. Yeah, you know, that's what I mean. When it comes to like these money leagues, I that's maybe part. There's 2 reasons probably why I don't play that. 1, I don't have the money. I'm fucking broke. 2 is I would turn into such a savage individual. Like I wouldn't be able to function. Hand off to Algier, and that's going to be good for about 4.5, 5 yards on that carry. 2nd and 5 upcoming from the 25-yard line of the Colts. Colts defense not looking good so far. Irish says the guy I'm facing this week doesn't change his lineup at all. He's done it all season. I don't get that. Thrown, incomplete pass. No flag anywhere on the field. 3rd and 5 upcoming for the Falcons. Falcons looking to convert here, keep this drive alive, and score a touchdown on this opening second half drive. Can they do so? Penix takes the snap, throws, fade to the end zone. Oh, he had Pitts open, and it's knocked away right at the last minute by the Colts pass defense. Incomplete. Jalen Jones with the coverage. I mean, he has them there, and it just goes off the helmet of the defender. So not even really that, but man, Pitts was open. It looked like Penix is like I think the announcer's saying there. If he puts that a little bit out in front, that's going to be a touchdown. Field goal kick is up. It is straight. It is true, and it is now 17-13. The Falcons lead over the Colts. They get 3 points on their opening second half drive. Can the Colts answer? We're going to find out coming up here after this commercial break. From the Deutschland, from the Germany. This is where they're playing the game. They're at Olympiastadion. My name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here on this lovely Sunday morning. We got Giants and Bears coming up next. After this particular game is done, finished, over, and dusted, we'll be having that. And then, of course, Sunday Night Football, we will be having the Steelers and the Chargers. Chargers goal. We'll be watching that as well. And here's the thing. We're going to be doing a lot of games here. And, you know, towards the end of the night, sometimes it gets a little rough. And if you're having a little bit of a problem grinding through your day, Irish, this one goes out for you, obviously, as you're having a 16-hour work day here. You're staying up at night, you're studying, you're working a very long shift, you know, where you have to take a nap in between, whether you're playing games, whether you're watching the games like I am here. Here's the thing. A lot of people these days, they take energy drinks. You know, it's like, oh, I got a lot to do. I got to stay up. Bang, bang, bang. Problem is, there's a bunch of junk in there, including sugar. I don't know if everybody knows how bad sugar is. As a diabetic, let me tell you, sugar, bad. Just bottom line. Sugar, very bad for you. But you don't need those sugar crashes. You don't need the mystery chemicals that are in a lot of these other drinks, and you know which ones I'm talking about? You know which ones I'm talking about? That's why you need W, the clean energy drink that's built for focus, stamina, and zero jitters. W is packed with vitamins. It's got science-based neurofactor. Helps your brain. You can focus. Very good, especially at building a fantasy football lineup, picking NFL games, maybe making some kind of bets, although W does not endorse that. I'm just saying, it's better to have neurofactor than not. You know what I'm saying? And it's all backed by science. And the bottom line is, it comes without all that nasty artificial junk. No sugar, no artificial flavors, just pure crash-free energy. So whether you're streaming the games like I am here, whether you're at work like Irish, working your ass off, whether you're smashing control buttons, or, like I said, just smashing, baby, W is the drink for you, the energy drink that you need. Go to W.GG right now and use the code STSports for 10% off of your first order. That's DUBBY.GG. And don't forget the code STSports for your 10% off discount. W Energy, be better. And the Colts are going to return that kickoff all the way to the Falcons' 45-yard line. Wow, he needs Irish. I think that guy needs some W. He has Rashee Rice and Dallas Goedert on his bench. Yeah, he needs to focus. He needs some W. So the Colts have 1st and 10 from the Atlanta 44-yard line. Good morning, Peppa Jack. How are you, beautiful? Love you. Peppa Jack just waking up here on a late Sunday morning for her. Daniel Jones under center. Takes the snap. Play action. Looks, throws. He gets that to Taylor out of the backfield. It's going to be 1st down and more. Gets down to the 20-yard line. Just Jonathan Taylor. 1st down, Colts. Colts looking to strike quickly here to start in their first drive of the second half. So now from the 20, Jones in shotgun. Surveys the field, looks to throw, drops the ball, falls on it. We have a flag. What's all this then? Crafty says, but yeah, that is the problem with Daniel Jones. So no penalty, they say. It just goes as an incomplete pass. I'm not sure what the flag would have been. Illegal man downfield or what? I don't know. So not a fumble. They say incomplete pass. But they threw a flag. And you know what that means. You throw a flag, even if you pick it up, it gets counted to the counter because you had to stop. You had to make that. You had to do all that nonsense. So 2nd and... Oh, they did say it was a fumble, not an incomplete pass. Well, they said it was an incomplete pass, then why is it? Okay, I don't know. 2nd and 21, Daniel Jones looks, throws. Jonathan Taylor, he's going to get it back up to the 23. Yeah, they mark it at the 23. I thought it was either 23 or 22. Irish in the chat says, please, for the love of God, throw it to Tyler Warren. He desperately wants some Tyler Warren points here. 3rd and 13 for the Colts on what was a great opening to this second half for them. Kind of went nuts there with Daniel Jones dropping the ball. It is a bit rainy, cloudy there. I don't know if that's an excuse. Play clock to 1. They get it off. Daniel Jones gets sacked and fumbles the ball again. And that's going to be recovered by the Falcons. And Daniel Jones is having a bit of the fumbles again. He he's got to protect that ball. He's got to know how to protect that ball, and that's a problem. Irish in the chat says, unbelievable. Dimes is like, that offer for a contract extension is still open, right? Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. This has not been a great game as far as, I mean, again, when he's on, he looks great. He's getting the yips though. He's getting those fumbles, those butterfingers, as you said. It's not going great right now. He needs to get that shit fixed and ironed out. And now the Falcons have a chance to really open this game up. They're going to have first down from their own 44-yard line. After the Colts had gotten down to the 20 of the Falcons, Daniel Jones had a fumble and recovered his own fumble, and then he had another fumble. Did not recover that one. Not great. Not great. Crafty in the chat says the Falcons are just mid-tier among the NFC, but they're on their way to manhandling two of the top AFC teams. Well, you know what they say. Any given Sunday is always the turn of phrase. Like they gotta do better in blocking. I get that, but Daniel Jones, through his career, has known, that dealing with the blindside pressure has been a problem with him. And keep two hands on the ball, focus on you have to get ball handling skills. You have to realize protect the ball. And there's sometimes where it's not going to be able to happen. As a quarterback, you have the ball out. Someone's going to come along, swipe it, knock it out. I mean, any quarterback will drop some of those. But some of these, again, he's just dropping himself. He's got to learn. Maybe get both hands on the ball. Maybe that's the old school football way. Do it back, do like that, and then go. But holding on to just holding the ball with one hand, it's something has to get fixed there. Crafty says that's at least a third fumble today. Yeah, and like I said, it's rainy. It's kind of gross there in Berlin today. Bijan Robinson gain of 2 yards on first down, 2nd and 8 upcoming. Crafty says, in reference to his last statement about the Falcons just mid among the NFC, but they're on their way to manhandling two of the top AFC teams. Either that or the AFC just blows. Again, I don't think the AFC blows, because I don't think the NFC is particularly good either. The Eagles have yet to play a real full game. The Packers are supremely inconsistent. The NFC West is maybe playing the best right now, even with all the injuries that San Francisco has. I mean, Seattle looks good. The Rams, for looking a little bit inconsistent, have played well enough. I think I would take the 3 NFC West teams as maybe the 3 best playing NFC teams right now as we're talking about it. But I don't know. 3rd and 8 for the Falcons coming up here. Play clock gets 0, but they do get the play off. Thrown, almost intercepted by Sauce Gardner. He would have had a pick in his first game with the Colts, but it falls incomplete. The Colts defense holds after the Daniel Jones turnover. 4th and 8 upcoming for the Falcons. Irish says the AFC did go to shit really quickly. Because that's the other thing too. Look at right now what is technically the best team in the AFC with the best record is the Denver Broncos at 8-2. And it was funny because after that game on Thursday, trending on Twitter was the phrase "worst 8-2 team ever." That was a trending topic. Was just how bad the Broncos are but yet they're 8-2. So, I mean, that's the way you can look at it. But like I said, you can look at that from any point of view, from any of these teams. Like the Eagles are 6-2. They don't tell me something from the Eagles that has looked impressive or good this year. You can't. They haven't looked good. Same with the Packers. Packers, record-wise, yeah, but in reality, they're 5-2-1. And those two losses are to the Browns and to the Panthers. What about them screams great? Like the Buccaneers have 3 losses, but I think the Buccaneers have played more solid football than either one of those teams. And like I said, the NFC West. I think the NFC West is right now the class of the NFC. Seattle looks great. Now, again, we'll see if Seattle can keep that up. Again, now people are focusing on them. Now people are saying, hey, pay attention to Seattle, pay attention to Seattle, pay attention to Seattle. Well, now they got Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals coming in. This feels like one of those games that, the Cardinals come in, Seattle's starting to feel themselves, and then Seattle lays a dud, and the Cardinals can come in and pick them off. The way this season is going, it seems like something like that could happen. Irish in the chat says, that's just football in 2025, man. Just win games and just win games to get to the playoffs, and anything can happen. I think I agree with that. I agree. That seems what this season is. Trying to find out who's a consistent team. Trying to find out, I think we've got this team figured out. I think we got this division figured out. I think we know where this team is at. I don't think we know shit. And we're in week 10. Usually we try to have this shit figured out by week 3, week 4 at the latest. It's week 10. We have no fucking idea. None. So the Colts are going to start with 1st and 10 from their own 13-yard line. NFL Network keeps on trying to push this Redskins-Dolphins game next week at Madrid. Keep on pushing it, because I'm not fucking watching it. 1st and 10 from the 13. Daniel Jones. Maybe put some stickum on his hands. I don't know. And they're just going to start handing it off here to Jonathan Taylor. That might be a smart idea for the time being. A gain of 4 yards on 1st down. 2nd and 6 coming. Crafty in the chat quotes me saying, Seattle's starting to feel themselves. Ew. Well, I mean, if you've ever seen anybody from Seattle, that is probably a little ill. Unwashed masses. 9:05 remaining here in the third quarter. Daniel Jones calling out protections. Hopefully somebody actually does protect here. 2nd and 6, he's in shotgun. It's just going to be another handoff to Jonathan Taylor, and he's going to break it for a 1st down. 1st down, Indianapolis Colts. They're up to their own 24-yard line. And it looks like the German fans are doing the Mexican wave in the stands. Crafty says the Colts need to remember that they have Taylor. That's the same thing the Falcons need to realize they have Bijan Robinson. Jones hands off to Taylor. Taylor gets 3 yards before he's pushed back. Whistles blow. 2nd and 7. Eight minutes remaining here in the third quarter. If you're syncing along with us, and if you are, thank you so much for joining us. My name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. Like any part of this broadcast, please hit the like. Hit the share to share us around like internet herpes. And, of course, if your first time here, subscribe. Thrown on 2nd and 7 by Daniel Jones, and that's going to be caught for a 1st down. Pittman seems to have gotten the 1st down, but we have a flag down. He pointed the wrong way. It's defense, not offense. So 2nd and 2. I mean, they declined the penalty only because the gain was more than that. Jonathan Taylor breaks it loose, and he's going to get down to the 44-yard line. By the way, since the referees don't even know which way to point, they don't even know what they're talking about, they have no idea what's going on. Buy your Fuck the Ref shirts available right now over at the Stay Tuned Sports merch store. You can find it at bit.ly/staytunedmerch. That's bit.ly/staytunedmerch. Or you can find a link in the top of the chat, which is wide open right now, or in the description below this very video that you're watching right now. Hand off to Jonathan Taylor. Gain of 4 yards. Maybe 5. We'll see. Nope, they're going to say 3 yards. So what the fuck do I know? Crafty says, offense. The refs be like, offense? The defense? We're the ones that pull the strings. I'm not dumb like everybody says, but smart, and I deserve respect. That's the way Pops wanted it. Well, it's not the way I wanted it. There was something in it for me. On my own. 2nd and 7. Tyler Warren gets that ball, and he gets it to the 40, to the 35, to the 30. Gets some contact down to the 28-yard line. 1st down, Colts. And there's your Tyler Warner sighting. Irish, in case you were looking for it, in case you wanted it, there you go. Tipped at the line, and Warren still ended up catching it. So 1st and 10 now from the Atlanta 28-yard line. Can the Colts finish this drive? Play clock down to 2. Hand off to Woodson, the running back, and he's going to get 4 yards marked off by the official there. 2nd and 6. Upcoming from the 24-yard line. Crafty says, great, now Elias is going to return with some AI-generated Godfather trivia. Irish was saying, I was just typing that I wanted a play-action pass to Ward. Well, yeah, you get what you wish for. 2nd and 6. Hand off to Taylor, and that's going to be good for 2 or 3 yards, depending on where the officials decide to spot that. It's going to be 3rd and 3 from that mark from the 21-yard line. Neither team has converted a 3rd down. Both teams are 0 for 5 on 3rd downs. That's why I said entertaining game, a bit of a sloppy game. Jones takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff, and it's going to be super close. They're going to mark him down a yard short. So 4th and 1 upcoming here for the Colts. Big play call here for the Colts. Do they go for it or do they kick it? They are going for it. 4th and 1 from the Atlanta 19-yard line. Daniel Jones in shotgun. Warren in motion to the right. Daniel Jones takes the snap. Hand off to Taylor, and he gets the 1st down and more. Gets it down to the 14-yard line. 1st down, Colts. They are into the red zone. Crafty said in the chat saying the Colts are remembering who they remember who you are, Simba. Tyler Warren in a direct snap situation here. He hands it off here to Taylor. So Tyler Warren took the snap, handed it off to Jonathan Taylor in a bit of an option play there. Taylor gets 2 yards. 2nd and 8 from the 12 now. Crowd singing, "Will you be my girl?" Very odd. Daniel Jones going to pull it down and run it himself. Gets another 3 yards. As we see a large German man with a Colts tattoo. Not the worst tattoo you could see in Germany, I suppose. 3rd and 6 upcoming. 3rd and 5, actually. Jones in shotgun. Here's the snap. Jones surveys the field. He's going to pull it down and run it himself, and he's going to get down to the 5. It's going to be about a yard short of the first down. Daniel Jones took a bit of a hit to the head there. They're going to mark him 2 yards short. No, he's a yard short. I don't know why they keep on marking him. This one marks him. Yeah, it's only a yard. Daniel Jones under center. Takes the snap. It's a pitch out to Taylor, and Taylor's going to be stopped for a loss. And it's a turnover on downs. Long drive for the Colts. Ends up with no points. Not sure about that particular play call. Got to say, not sure about that particular play call. And now it's Falcons ball, 1st and 10 from their own 7-yard line. And this Colts offense that had looked so efficient and mistake-free in the first half of the season, between last week and this week, there's been a bit of a glitch apparently with the Indianapolis Colts. Irish in the chat says the play calling in the red zone was particularly awful. I don't disagree with you on that one, Irish, at all. And this feels like that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. There's about a second difference, but the Falcons are going to go for they're going to get one more playoff here as it stands. 2nd and 7. Throw, that's caught by Drake London, and that's going to be a first down at the 28-yard line. And that is where this quarter will end. 1st down and 10 for the Falcons. This started at the 7. They are now out at their own 28. And ladies and gentlemen, we have hit the 4th quarter. We have hit the 4th quarter. So you know what that means. Get the 4s up wherever you are. If you're in the chat, get your 4s up. If you're at home, get the 4s up. If you're at the kitchen table with your mother, your father, your wife, your kids, your brothers, your sisters, doesn't matter. Look at them dead in the eye, and say all 4 quarters. And when they ask you if you're okay, or if you need some help, or if they should call the ambulance and have you committed, say, I need to be committed. The only thing I'm committed to is all 4 quarters. That's all. And then they'll be concerned for you. But they'll also know that you're down for all 4 quarters. Still gonna have some coffee. I might have some more coffee here in a second. Let me see. Get up and see that. I'm gonna check it with Pepper Jack too for a second. Give me a second. 1 second. Welcome back to me. I just welcome myself back. Is that weird? Yes. Do I care? Not really. Still in a commercial break. What do we got? Any news? Any more tweets? What do we got as far as the tweety twats? Tweety twats. Adam Schefter twatted out here. Currently active today will be Alvin Kamara, Ted McMillan, DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones, Garrett Wilson for the Jets, Harold Fannin, Cedric Tillman, and Devin Lloyd. Inactive, Josh Palmer. CJ Stroud also inactive today as well. 1st and 10, Penix getting pressure. Look, just throws it, chucks it up, incomplete. On the first play of the fourth quarter. Penix here on 2nd and 10, throws low, incomplete. Mooney was the intended receiver there. And so it's going to be 3rd and 10. Can the Colts defense again hold here and give their offense yet another chance to turn the ball over on downs or on a fumble or some other way? Because that just seems to be what they're doing. Third and 10, Penix getting pressure, and then just chucks it up out of bounds, incomplete. That's going to be 4th and 10, and the Colts hold. And they're going to be able to get a punt here. So just when they need it, they need to do that. Crafty in the chat says, Raheem Morrison is there like, Bijan who? He's back in Bijan who mode? That's what I mean, is you have a 4-point lead. You've been playing well. You know one of the best ways to keep that lead and to maybe keep going? Hand the ball, run the ball. And you have one of the best guys to do that with, and you just say, you go for 3 straight, passing. I don't know why, but it seems like, if the Falcons end up losing this game, that sequence might show us why. And the Colts are going to return this ball. Great return to the 50, all the way to the 47-yard line of the Falcons. Great punt return there for the Colts. 24-yard punt return. And the Colts are set up in great field position. Can they do something on this drive? Their last drive was a masterpiece up until they got to the 9-yard line. And then it was all backwards. And then they went on to go for it on 4th and won and had a weird pitch play. Like when you try to do that and like I get it. I understand that the defense is going to be focusing on the line of scrimmage. But yeah. Irish says, as someone who is facing Bijan in my $50 fantasy league right now, I disagree. You're very happy that the Falcons are doing that. I got you. You know what? Keep on passing the ball, Raheem. It's fine. Yeah, just keep on. Yeah. No, that works. German crowds love John Denver, man. Especially West Virginia. I don't know why, but they do. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. 1st and 10. Jonathan Taylor gets 4 yards. Crazy says, watching football fans sing John Denver never gets old. John Denver's fucking awesome, man. My mom used to listen to John Denver a bunch. And yeah, dude. Like, I'm sorry, John Denver fucking rolls. Sorry, he does. Second and 7. I thought he got 4 yards. I only gave him 3. Hand off to Taylor again. He's going to bounce out to the left, and he's got room, and he's got speed, and he's down to the 25-yard line. Refs are going to mark him actually at the 24 this time and say he landed on top of a Falcons player. It wasn't down until about a yard after. So that's going to be 1st and 10 from the Falcons' 24-yard line. Yes, they did. With that unfortunate, again, plane accident. And he was a very accomplished pilot. But just, you never know with some of these things. And you think about certain things like that. You think about that. You think about, like, the Kobe thing with the helicopter. You think about Leonard Skinner. Do you think about just Buddy Holly? The day the music died. It's bad. Taylor again, and Taylor's going to get 8 yards on that carry. 2nd and 2 now from the Falcons 17. Can they finish this drive? Can I do it? It feels like the Colts have been edging everybody here. It's like they do well, and don't finish. They do well, and do not get the full completion. Can the Colts reach full completion on this drive? We're going to find out here in a moment. Daniel Jones hands off to Taylor, and he's going to get a yard. And it's going to be 3rd and 1 upcoming here for the Colts. And it seems like the Colts have, for the most part, taken the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands, considering that he's had a bit slippery hands today. Maybe not the worst decision to make. Listen, some days it's just not your day. I get it. And and it's going to be a gain of about a yard on 3rd and 1. Finally, a team converts on 3rd down. None of these teams has converted on a 3rd down except for that play right there, and it is now 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line for the Colts. Crafty says going back to the run has settled things down. Boy, it seems like maybe the Falcons should have done that too, you know? First and 10, Daniel Jones in shotgun. Another handoff to Taylor, and this time it's going to be a loss of a yard. 2nd and 11 coming up. As I have an itchy eye for some reason. I don't know if he so much gave up on field goals, but he was just, it felt like you're down there, you're down by already 4 points, like going for a field goal when you were down there, you still would have been down 1, wanted to take the lead. It seems like he was just going more that aggressive route, that Dan Campbell-ish route. Might have given up on field goals too because and we got flags and whistles before the play, and that's going to move him back. And it's going to be, they called delay a game. They didn't get it off before and that's a big one. 2nd and 16 now for the Colts. As we have now hit double digits in the flag department. Irish says, the Falcons going back to the run game? Nah, they shouldn't do that. As he's going up against Bijan Robinson in his fantasy league. So now, 2nd and 16 from just outside the 20 for the Colts. Daniel Jones takes the snap, looks, throws. That's going to be caught by Tyler Warren. Gets it back to the 14-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage. So it's 3rd and 10 now. And again, the Colts get in the red zone and immediately bogged down. Get into the red zone, immediately bogged down. And that's what we were saying. They have not been able to reach full completion when they get to the red zone. Will they be able to finally bust through this? Will they be able to finally bust that nut through this? You got to be able to, it's a tough nut to crack sometimes, but they got to be able to do it. Or will this be another edging situation? Daniel Jones takes the snap. Full pressure here from the Falcons, and it's going to be a sack of 2 yards. Daniel Jones was going to pull it down and run, but could not escape.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
And it's going to be 4th and 12. And so the Colts are going to go for a field goal here to make it a 1-point deficit. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. Which, to your point, Crafty, if they would have gone for the field goal on the last drive, they would have currently a 2-point lead. Crafty in the chat says, breaking news, breaking news. Put a little Steve Lookner here on you. Breaking news, breaking news. Michael Badgley, also known as Michael Badley, has decided to make a field goal. And he did. Irish is just asking for one 12-yard catch from Tyler Warren in this game at some point. Well, we'll see. We are under 10 minutes. We are actually at 9 minutes even left to go in this game. Falcons still lead by 1. Can the Colts defense continue to hold the Falcons? If the Falcons decide to not run Bijan Robinson, this feels like the Colts will have another chance to get the lead in this game. Can they? Will they? We will see. Hi, Pepper. Yeah, no, I had just turned the heater back on it. Yeah. Everybody say hi to Pepper Jack. Pepper Jack, say hi to everybody. She said hi. Crafty in the chat says, can the Falcons hold a lead? Snicker. See, because 28-3, you see. I see what you're saying. Get this set up here. Do. Irish in the chat says, hi, Pepper Jack. Crafty says, hi, Pepper Jack. Crafty says, admit it. She flipped all of us off. No, she did not. She loves you guys. She would not flip you off. She'd flip me off in a heartbeat, but she wouldn't flip you guys off. Oh, slipped on the return down at the 22. There we go. See, there she is. And there she is. See, we mentioned Taylor. She pops up. That's just what happens. Just setting this up here, yeah. First and 10. Hand off to Bijan Robinson, which is what I think we all thought they should be doing. And again, they get a gain of about 7 yards on that play. 2nd and 3 upcoming. See what happens? See what happens, Atlanta? See what happens when you play smart football. And again, handed off to Bijan, and he gets another big gain. First down all the way down to the 38-yard line. And maybe the Falcons have learned. Maybe they've learned. Irish says, no, throw it to Pitts 3 times. Keep throwing it. That's going to be another handoff. Stopped at the 40-yard line for Bijan. So 2nd and 7. $7:20 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Falcons trying to run this clock down and maybe put this game out of reach. Penix, deep throw, incomplete. Just as I was saying that, decides to go for a deep throw, incomplete, 3rd and 7 upcoming. So now it's 3rd and long, and now you'd figure it'd be kind of a passing down here. Penix, 3rd and 7. Getting pressure, throws down the middle of the field. Incomplete. So it stops the clock. 4th down. They're going to have to punt. Sills was the intended receiver. Crafty says Irish got his wish, and yeah, he did. And that is a punt. Fair caught at the 9-yard line for the Colts. And that is where they will start their next drive, looking to gain the lead. 6:55 remaining in the fourth quarter. Crafty says, does Raheem have some kind of phobia about success? I think, like again, just hand it off to Bijan Robinson. What are we doing? Irish in the chat says, Falcon's going to Falcon. Jet's going to Jet. Dolphin's going to Dolphin. Charger's going to Charger. Falcon's going to Falcon. Thunder Cougar Falcon Bird. So from the 9, Daniel Jones under center. I bet you this is a running play to Jonathan Taylor. No, play action. Thrown Tyler Warren. And he's going to get 8 yards on that reception. 8 yards for Tyler Warren. 2nd and 2, upcoming from the 17-yard line. This is why you don't wear those stupid untucked frickin' T-shirts coming out of your jerseys. Dumbasses. Stop this shit. I hate it. What are they doing? God, some of these players are just the dumbest. I mean, I guess, you're not smart if you're a football player, but. Hand off to Taylor here on 2nd and 2, and he's going to bounce out to the left side, and he's going to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 50, to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Colts, Jonathan Taylor with an 83-yard touchdown run. Holy shit! And just like that, the Colts are back on top. I thought it was 2 yards and he stopped, but he got up to the line of scrimmage, bounced off the line. They couldn't grab him down, and then he is gone. Wow. Jonathan Taylor with a hell of a run where you think he stopped for maybe he gets the first down, but it might be short, 1.5 yards maybe. Maybe he gets the 2 yards and instead turns it into an 83-yard touchdown run. Colts going for 2 here to get the full 7-point lead. Jones back, looks, throws, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete, so it is still just a 5-point game for the Colts. Colts with a 5-point lead, 22-17 over the Atlanta Falcons. Irish says Warren literally needs 4 points for 10 yards. Probably not getting it now. Well, we'll see. There is 6:02 remaining. Here's the thing with the Falcons. Now the Falcons are down. Now they're going to pass. You know that. I mean, if they gave up on Bijan Robinson when they had a lead, trying to go ahead and maybe eat some clock, now that they're down, now they're throwing it. Now, the announcers are talking about, Bijan saying, he's on the other sideline. Maybe Bijan saying, it's my turn. It's not up to him. Raheem Morris might be like, the fuck it is. If we've learned anything from the Falcons, it's like, this is Bijan Robinson time. Raheem Morris is out there to say. Irish in the chat says, boy, I'm glad I faced Taylor last week. Falcons return the ball up to about the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Irish in the chat says, you are going against London too, so we'll see. He has kind of been Penix's choice here in this game, if I'm being honest with you. Drake London, of course, has 5 receptions, a touchdown, and 89 yards in those 5 receptions. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. as we see a Mercedes commercial. I mean, I guess it makes sense to have a German car commercial there while you're playing the game in Germany. Makes sense. Paul Wilson says MVP, period. It's going to get harder and harder to say no to Jonathan Taylor being in that conversation. The more I think, unfortunately, the last couple games might have taken Daniel Jones out of it. So Drake London catches the ball. That's going to be first down, gain of 15 yards, down to the 44-yard line. Yeah, it doesn't see again, guys. This is week 10. Nothing is sealed. We got a long season left to go here. So there's nothing sealed about the MVP race as of right now. I mean, nothing. I think you have to start putting him in the conversation. But people were kind of holding back of putting him in the conversation before and being like, well, it's really a quarterback award. It's really a quarterback award. It's really a quarterback. Like, I think you really have to start thinking about it now. Penix is getting pressured here. He's going to escape it. Just throws. It's actually going to be caught by Bijan. Out of the backfield, it's going to be second down and 2 is what they're going to call that. Down to the 48-yard line are the Falcons. Second and dose. Or zwei. Second and zwei. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8. I don't know. I'm bad at German. Bijan Robinson gets a carry. It's going to be marked right at that first down marker. They're going to give it to him. At the Indianapolis 46-yard line. First and 10, Falcons. 4:05 and counting remaining here in the game. We are actually now at 4 minutes and under 4 minutes. And now we're at 3:57. I'm just going to count the clock here. First and 10. Falcons on the 46 of the Colts. It's going to be a handoff to Algier. Gets it down to the 39-yard line. That's a good gain for the Falcons. Now the clock keeps on running. Second and 3. That is the down and distance left on this particular series. Crafty in the chat saying, now time for Sauce to come up big. He already missed his chance at an interception before. Can he pick one off here? Drake London in motion to the left. Hand off to Algier, and he's going to get another first down and out of bounds. The officials say that forward progress was stopped inbound, so the clock continues to move. Sauce Gardner on the tackle there. 2:38 remaining. A field goal does no good. The Falcons need to get into the end zone. Algieri behind Penix. Penix is going to throw the ball. Throws over the middle. That's going to be caught down to the 20-yard line. First down, Pitts. And now the Falcons. They're going to mark him at the 19, actually. I thought he was more at the 20. They're going to mark him at the 19. And this could bring this down to the 2-minute warning, and it seems like that is what the Falcons are going to do. 2-minute warning in Berlin, Germania. The Colts 22, the Falcons 17. The Falcons are driving now on the Colts 19-yard line. Will the Falcons close this out with a touchdown with the lead and possibly the game on the line, or will the Colts defense be able to hold? We're going to find out here. Irish, of course, he wants Algieri out there because he does not want Bijan to get any more points. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Good game here. Good game here in Germany. By the way, that last touchdown there by Jonathan Taylor gave him 65 career rushing touchdowns for the Colts, and that is a franchise record in the history of the Indianapolis/Baltimore Colts, which is a pretty long and extensive and proud history. So, Jonathan Taylor, congratulations. 65 career rushing touchdowns for the Colts. Franchise record. Also, that run by Jonathan Taylor was the longest of this season so far. They had Eric Dickerson. They had Marshall Faulk. They had Joseph Adai. And it's not even going back to like the Baltimore days. Oh, shit. Breaking news just now here. Former NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue has died this morning at his home in Maryland. He was 84 years old. Apparent cause of death was heart failure complicated by Parkinson's disease. Survivors include his wife Chandler, son Drew, and daughter Emily. Paul Tagliabue shepherded the NFL through one of its most transformational changes. Oh, Algieri gets to the 9. First down, first and goal coming up here for the Falcons. Paul Tagliabue, Edgerrin James, they had as well Irish. Paul Tagliabue dead at 84 years old. He was, Irish. I agree. He was of the commissioners of all the leagues that I've seen and had to experience in my life. I think he was the best commissioner of any sport, and I think he's the best commissioner the NFL ever had. Even with Rozelle in there, I think Tagliabue was the best. Algier, he's going to get it down to the 1-yard line on first and goal. 1:48 remaining. Colts had taken a timeout. They're going to have to take another one here. And now it's going to be second and goal from the 1. And this looks like it's academic from this point. If you're the Colts, let them score and give yourself a chance to score. Because if they score, the Falcons will have to go for 2 to make it a 3-point game at least. Because if not, then it's just a 2-point game, and the Colts can win by a field goal, depending on how Michael Badgley wants to do. So if I'm the Colts, I do the old swinging gate, let them score. Algier gets it, and he's going to get in. Touchdown, Falcons. 1:44 remaining in the fourth quarter. Lots of time left. Lots of time left for the Colts. The Falcons are up by 1, 23-22. 2-point conversion, I would imagine, upcoming. So here comes the 2-point conversion. This is the Falcons' first 2-point conversion attempt of the year. Do they get it? Do they make this a field goal ties the game situation, or will the Colts have a chance to win with a field goal? 1:44 remaining in this game. Obviously, this is an untimed down. Penix looks, throws, caught wide open by London, and the 2-point conversion is good. And it is a 3-point game. Irish says, imagine a pick two. Boy, that imagine you'd be leading by 1 and then you're down by 1. And then the Colts get the ball. That'd be funny. So here we go. 1:44 remaining. Can the Colts get down the field? Will they get a field goal? Will we be having overtime in Germany? Colts have 1 timeout remaining. That is it. So this is going to have to come down to Daniel Jones here. As much as you'd like it to be Jonathan Taylor, running the ball is not an option here at this point. Oh, big return! Down to the 50, down to the Falcons' 48-yard line. The Colts are already in Falcons territory. Oh, my God! Abdullah with another return here, and if it's not for the kicker, I think. No, it wasn't the kicker, but still, my God. And so now the Colts have, a $137. They really just got to get 15 yards to be an even comfortable field goal position. Again, Michael Badgley's been a little iffy. But now all of a sudden, maybe the running game is still in play here. Daniel Jones takes the snap on 1st and 10. He gets pressured, throws. Tyler Warren had the pass, and it's incomplete. Irish in the chat says, Falcon's going to Falcon. Warren almost that would have been a more points there for Warren, but he just could not hold on to the ball. 2nd and 10. They're going to review the last play to see if it was caught and a fumble. I don't think he ever had possession. I do not think he had possession. I don't think he has control of that at any point, really. Irish, like, if they call this a catch and a fumble, I honestly don't think you can. Like, there's no part he never has control of that ball. Yeah, incomplete. I mean, it was fairly obvious, I think. The fact that they even had to review it is a little much, but that's just what I think. Second and 10, 132 remaining. Jones in shotgun. Colts have one timeout. Falcons blitz again, and they sack Jones. He could not get the ball away, and you couldn't take that sack.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
And now it's 3rd and 21. I don't know what happened to this Colts offensive line, but they have been dominated by this Falcons defense all game. Daniel Jones has been under fire this entire game. And in this kind of situation, you got to be able to protect better than that, man. I just don't know. So now it's 3rd and 21, back all the way at their own 41-yard line for the Colts. They have to get to the Falcons' 38-yard line for a first down. Jones takes the snap. Daniel Jones, he's going to pull it down and run it. He gets it to, he's got close to the first down. He's going to be about 2 yards short. It's 4th and 2 at the 40. So it's 4th and 2. It's going to come down to this play. I would imagine this is going to be a Jonathan Taylor play. You'd imagine. Empty backfield. Daniel Jones in shotgun. Trips to his left. Throws. Caught by Warren, and he breaks away. He gets it to the 29-yard line. First down, Colts. 1:11 remaining. It was an all-out blitz by the Falcons. Tyler Warren gets the pass again. Great. It was a good defensive play, but again, he's just so big. He's such a big boy. First and 10 from the 30. Daniel Jones steps back, looks, throws, deep ball, incomplete. He was looking for Pierce, was not able to connect there. 2nd and 10, 1:07 remaining. Second and 10. Daniel Jones gets immediately sacked. I think that was supposed to be a designed run play or something.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
The Falcons defense. The Falcons got a Gazoo helmet. So here we go. 3rd and 16 now. This is all the way back at the 21-yard line. No. I don't know why that said 21-yard line. That was dumb. They get it down to the 26-yard line? Falcons called timeout. Apparently, yeah, the Colts had called a timeout. I had missed. That's on me. Falcons now call timeout to try to save as much time. There's 23 seconds remaining. So 4th and 6 from the 26. And Badgley's coming out for the kick. And now since the Falcons called a timeout there, they can't call another timeout to freeze the kicker. So this is going to be a clean kick availability here. 44-yard field goal attempt. Snap, hold, kick is up, and that one is good! And we are tied. 25-25 with 25 seconds left. So we have the possibility of overtime. And Irish is upset because that just means more opportunity now for Bijan Robinson to get points. But it also means more opportunity for Leonard to get points. Not Leonard, Tyler Warren. I don't know why I keep on saying Leonard. I don't know why I got Leonard on the brain. So, more chances for Bijan to carry, but also more chances for Tyler Warren to catch the ball. So, oh man, and then what? I know you didn't want overtime, Irish. I know you didn't want it, but here we go. We're gonna get it. Apparently, it seems like it. Boy, just think if Badgley could have hit that other field goal or that extra point or like really anything, if he was gonna hit one of those other ones that he missed, we got a different game here. Irish says this game might bleed into the 1 p.m. games. I was hoping it wasn't. Like I said, we're at 12:32, and if this game was going to end now, this would have been a perfect time to end, but I think this is going to bleed into the Giants game, and I was hoping it wasn't. So let's see. The Falcons still got a chance to win this. They got 21 seconds. They have 2 timeouts. They are currently at the 26-yard line after the return. 1st and 10. Penix in shotgun takes the snap. He's going to look, and that's going to be dropped. Mooney had it in his hands, and he dropped it. 15 seconds remaining, 2nd and 10. Second and 10, 15 seconds from the 26. Penix. He gets rushed. He's going to get sacked. That's got to be a flare. That's got to be intentional grounding. And that would end the quarter. That should be grounding. It didn't reach the line of scrimmage. There was no receiver in the area, and he wasn't out of the tackle box. Nobody's in the area. Yep, and they did call intentional grounding. That's a 10-second runoff that ends the quarter. That ends the quarter. Yeah, the ref said ends the game. The game's not over. It's the end of regulation. And ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the 3rd time we've had to do this watching these games this year. Get the 5s up. We got 5. We got 5 quarters here. 5 quarters of football. Overtime in the Berlin, in the Germany, in the Deutschland. What is this overtime? Is this like the extra time in the football, like the soccer you play over there in the America? But this official can't talk. He tried to give an explanation to clear it up, and he made it more confusing than actually clearing it up. Irish is saying they got some free football in Germany. Yes, they do. Little extra dab will do you. So they're going to put 1 second on the clock. So they put the 1 second on, and then they ran the clock, and then they did it. So why are we going through these dumb motions? We know what the... I hate these officials. Like, just you make the assumption. Irish in the chat. Yeah, no, I think that's a good point to bring this up. Fuck the refs. Hoodies and t-shirts available over at the Stay Tuned Sports merch store because apparently these refs in Germany, this guy does not know what he's talking about. He just made a, listen, everybody might have been a little bit confused, but he just made it super more confusing for no apparent reason. We don't know why, but there we go. Irish in the chat says, let's hope for a pick six so we can get to the 1 p.m. games. That would be nice. Yes, you can get your Fuck the Ref shirts available right now over at Stay Tuned Sports merch store. That is over at bit.ly/staytunedmerch, bit.ly/staytunedmerch, or you can just follow the link at the top of the chat and in the description below this video. You can go get those right now, and it comes pre-pixelated there, so you're not going to offend anybody. You can wear that to church, you can wear that to the potluck, you can wear that really anywhere, the PTA meetings, no matter what, you can wear those, and that will be fine. Just saying. I'd like to, again, the Giants game starts at 1. I'd like to be available for that, so we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I have the stream set up. I'd hate to have to, miss the start of the Giants game and do all that because, again, big Giants fan. I want to watch the Giants game. But we'll see. We'll see. I might have to pull that up here early anyway. Let's see. Let's see here. Falcons win the toss. They're going to get it up to the 27-yard line. Yeah, they messed up who. Yeah, Crafty is what they're saying. They said they messed up who had the toss because apparently they had the Colts call it, but the Colts are the home team and the away team is the one that always calls it. 1st and 10 from the 30. It's going to be a 1-yard gain there for Bijan. 2nd and 9 coming up. No, the announcers didn't screw it up. The officials screwed it up. The announcers had said the Colts won the toss because on the initial toss they did, but the Colts don't get to call it. They're the home team. The away team calls it. So the refs had to reflip it, and then the Falcons won the toss because the officials don't know what the fuck they're doing. So it's really another fuck the officials moment. Throw incomplete on 2nd and 9, 3rd and 9 coming up here for the Falcons. Falcons are 0 for 7 on 3rd downs today. Colts are only 1 for 11. There's only one only 1 3rd down has been converted this entire game. 1 3rd down. Penix in shotgun, takes the snap. He's getting rushed. Just tosses it up there, incomplete, and they're going to throw a flag. Are they going to get bailed out by a bad call? They're going to say illegal contact on the Colts, 5 yards, and an automatic 1st down. Falcons get saved by the refs. I don't know. How is that a flag? That's all. That's if anything he put. No. That's a bad call. Unbelievable. Colts, they get pressure, and Algiers stopped for a 3-yard loss there. Zaire Franklin with the stop. Crafty in the chat saying refuckery down the. I get ref fuckery, but the way that sounds like a refinery that just screws up shit. Where do you work? I work down at the refuckery. 2nd and 12 upcoming. They got a couple of Deutschmarks there on the Falcons, you think, huh? 2nd and 12. Low snap. Penix chucks it up. Out of bounds to Mooney. Incomplete. 3rd and 12 upcoming for the Falcons. Penix is going to get dropped down at the 20. Zaire Franklin again.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
And that's going to make it 4th and 24 at the Atlanta 22-yard line. And, of course, we made a Taylor reference. So there's our girl looking as just scrum-diddly-umptious. And away she goes. See you later, Taylor. So the Falcons are going to have to punt here. Kick is away. Short punt. The Colts are going to be able to get that up at the 43, 44-yard line. 43-yard line. Their own 43. So they have great field position. Do the Colts. I would say 25 yards maybe. Daniel Jones pumping the boys up in the huddle. Play is cold. Colts get up to the line of scrimmage. 7:29 in overtime remaining. Daniel Jones takes the snap, pitches it out to Taylor. Taylor cannot find the edge, gets half a yard, if that, on first down. 2nd and 9-ish. Badgley on the sidelines, practicing his swing, practicing his kick and follow through. Second and 9.5 for the Colts. Daniel Jones steps back, looks, throws, deep ball. Warren with the catch! Tyler Warren! Oh, Irish, where are you? You got to be happy with that one. Big catch from Tyler Warren. They get all the way down to the Falcons' 33-yard line. 1st and 10, Colts. And a field goal will win it, as the Falcons have already had a possession. Irish says now it's time to get greedy. Daniel Jones in shotgun takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff here to Jonathan Taylor, and he runs up the middle, and he gets it down to the 26-yard line. 2nd and 3 coming up. Clock is ticking. Michael practicing to be more money and less badly. Hi, Pepper Jack. Pepper Jack getting ready making breakfast. She's going to make herself some breakfast. Getting the bacon. She's getting the English muffins. Getting the cheese. Getting the eggs. She's getting the butter. I already had breakfast, so. And Jonathan Taylor gets about a yard, so it's going to be 3rd down and about 2 coming up from the 25. Irish says, don't leave it to your kicker. Hand off to Taylor, and Taylor's going to get it up to the 14, down to the 13-yard line. 1st down, Colts. If I'm the Colts, I hand this off to Jonathan Taylor constantly. Let Jonathan Taylor get you, like I've said, if you want to, don't leave it to your kicker, that's fine. Leave it to Jonathan Taylor. Let him carry you to the victory here. Irish says, I think they're going to play it safe here. If by giving it to Jonathan Taylor to run over the defense means playing it safe, then so be it. 1st and 10. Jones under center. Hand off to Taylor, and Taylor's going to get it down to the 8. Maybe the 7. Depends. They're going to say 8-yard line. 2nd and 4. They are inside the 10-yard line. We are 10 minutes away from Giants versus Bears. Will this game end before then? Second and four. Daniel Jones under center on 2nd and 4. He snaps the ball, hands it off. Taylor goes, touchdown, Colts! And that is the game. 31-25. The Colts have defeated the Atlanta Falcons in Berlin, Germany. And there it is. The Falcons fall to 3-6. The Colts go to 8-2. Sloppy game. They need to fix some things, but still, maybe the best team in the AFC as we speak right now are the Indianapolis Colts as they celebrate with blue in the end zone. 31-25 is the final. Oh, boy, ladies and gentlemen, what a game we had here to start off the 9:30 games. Early games were great. Now we've got the 1 o'clocks to handle, and we're going to start going to those right now. So while we do that, I'm going to get ready to jump off. Ira says, I'll take 13.9 points from Warren. That's pretty good for you and your fantasy team. Hopefully you guys continue to do well. I'm going to catch you guys in about 5 minutes over on the Giants and Bears stream. If you're subscribed and hit that notification bell, you're going to get notified in just about 2 seconds. But as for this game, thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. I will see you in just a couple minutes. Adios, everybody.